Cilantro Garlic Dipping Sauce. Great on pretty much everything. It's creamy and indulgent and perfect with some crusty bread, some mariquitas, some tostones, or to serve with your next cheese and crudité board. You can even use it to dress your salad. It's so good. Sally that girl in the kitchen. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sally That Girl in the Kitchen. In today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to make an easy but oh so yummy cilantro garlic dipping sauce. This sauce is the sauce of your dreams. It is so yummy. It goes good on absolutely anything. It is that good. And you could even just grab a piece of crusty bread, put a little sauce on it. That's how amazing it is. Or remember those little mini arepas that I taught you how to make a few weeks ago? You can make some arepas and dip them in this yummy sauce. There are so many different applications for this sauce. You're never gonna get enough of it. And you can whip up a batch and keep some in the fridge and indulge for the next few days because it's yummy, easy, and you're gonna wanna put it over everything. Imagine some fresh roasted vegetables and a little bit of this sauce for dipping. It's just super yummy. The applications are endless. So I'm super excited to teach you how to make it. So let's not wait another second and let's get started. For today's recipe, you will need 1.5 cups of sour cream. I'm using full fat, but you can use whichever one you prefer. 1.5 cups of olive oil mayonnaise. I really love the flavor that the olive oil brings to this recipe. 8 cloves of garlic. Now, this recipe is definitely garlic forward. So if you want to tame down that garlic, then you can use as many or as few garlic cloves as you'd like. The leaves from 1 bunch of cilantro, the juice of 1 lime, 1 teaspoon of salt, and some freshly ground black pepper. This you'll add to taste. I like plenty of it, and I like mine coarsely ground. You will also need some measuring spoons, a food processor, a couple of spoons like kitchen tablespoons, some dry measuring cups, or of course you can use wet measuring cups. I like to use the dry ones because that way I use them to scoop out my sour cream and my mayonnaise. And you'll also need a knife and a lime squeezer, or of course you can squeeze your lime by hand. So now that we have all of our ingredients and tools together, let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is prepare your garlic cloves. I am using 8, and I bought pre-peeled garlic cloves, but of course, if not, just peel as many or as little as you want. Now, once you have your garlic cloves ready, then I like to add those into my food processor first, because that way I make sure that they're going to get really well chopped. So the next thing I'm going to add is my sour cream. I scooped out exactly what I needed, and then I'm just going to add that right into my food processor. And I'm trying to be as careful as I can to not make too much of a mess in the process. So once I've got all of my sour cream in, then I'm going to move on to do the same thing with my mayonnaise. As I said, I'm using olive oil mayonnaise for this recipe because I just really love that extra bit of flavor I get from the olive oil. And then I'm going to do just like I did with the sour cream. I'm just going to add it all into my food processor right on top of that previous layer of sour cream. So once you get all of that yumminess in, then the next thing to do is measure out your salt, and you're just going to add that salt right on top. And then I'm just going to grind in some black pepper right on top of that. As I said, you can add as much or as little as you'd like. I like plenty, and I like mine coarsely ground, so I'm going to give it plenty of pepper. So now I've gotten my pepper in, and the next thing to do is you're going to cut your lime in half, and then you're just going to squeeze that juice out of your lime. You want all of the juice from the whole lime, both halves. And I like to do that into a bowl to make sure I don't get any seeds. And then once I squeeze out all that delicious lime juice, then I'm going to add it right on top. So now my juice is in, and the last thing to do is to wash my cilantro, and I've removed all of the leaves from the stems. I much prefer this recipe without the stems. Now, some people don't mind them, and you can go ahead and of course leave them on if you prefer, but I like to remove my leaves because I just love the texture that I'm going to get once I combine these cilantro leaves with the rest of the ingredients. Now, everything is in. I'm going to close my food processor, and all that's left to do is pulse. You're going to watch as those leaves just get pulled into the mixture, and those delicious, fragrant garlic cloves that are at the bottom are being processed and just chopped up into tiny little bits, and they are going to infuse this mixture with such flavor, you're not going to believe it. So I'm going to give my food processor just a little bit of help. I'm going to push down some of those little leaves that clung to the top of the processor. And then once I do that, I just put my lid right back on and I continue to process. Really, this whole process just takes a few minutes, maybe 3 minutes max. It really didn't take long at all. All I did was pulse a few times until I'm sure that I've broken down all of my garlic cloves, that all of my cilantro leaves have been broken down, and I end up with a gorgeous, fragrant mixture. My kitchen smells amazing between the cilantro and the garlic. Wow, the smell is over the top. So now my mixture is creamy. Let's take a look. Wow, it's looking perfect. Look at how beautiful and creamy that is. I gotta taste it. It's perfect. It's got tons of garlic, tons of cilantro, and tons of flavor. As I said, this would go great on pretty much anything you put it on. You could eat a shoe with this dipping sauce, although I would not recommend it. So now all that's left is to pour it into a cute jar. I love using a little mason jar. It gives it just such a beautiful presentation. I've laid it out on a pretty board with some crusty bread, some mariquitas. You can serve this with chips. As I said, you can serve it with tostones, with crudité, just with straight up little baby carrots, with pretty much everything. Or of course, you can serve it on the side when you roast some vegetables. It has so many different uses, and it is beautiful, creamy, and absolutely delicious. And of course, it is amazing as a salad dressing. Imagine some cool, crunchy lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers. Oh wow, with this delicious cilantro garlic dipping sauce, you can't go wrong. So now I'm going to try it with a mariquita, a plantain chip, which I love so much. It's so tasty. And that presence of the garlic, wow, it is there. And of course, the cilantro just makes it incredibly delicious. It's got a beautiful color, scent, flavor. It's just so perfect. Yum, yum, yum. We are going to be using this sauce for the next few days on pretty much everything around here. It's so tasty. So now, of course, I'm going to get a slice of this delicious bread, and look at that beautiful color. You see all those little bits of cilantro? It's just such a delicious, fragrant sauce, so flavorful. And of course, I'm going to take advantage of this beautiful presentation, and I'm going to try it. It is so good. It is just so tasty that you could eat it just like this, straight up with some bread. You need nothing more. It is so yummy. I know I'm going to go through this entire piece of bread because it is so delicious. Oh, wow. It feels yummy, creamy, cool. It is just such a beautiful combination of textures and flavors. It's really just super, super yummy. I need to get a little bit more on the rest of this bread.
because really it is just so crazy good. I'm really loving it. So delicious. I'm thinking of all the other things that I'm going to be making. A nice salad, so many other things to serve this yummy dipping sauce or dressing with. So, so good. And actually, I'm gonna go back and grab a little more of this to put on my plate so I can continue dipping in it once I'm off camera. I'm gonna grab a few more mariquitas and I am going to indulge because it is super tasty, so delicious, so easy to make. You saw how quickly it came together, and so, so good. I know you're gonna love it. It's yummy and versatile.
So did I tell you this sauce was going to be spectacular? I cannot wait for you to try it. It is so, so yummy, and it's just beautiful and inviting. That bright green color is just totally inviting, and it just tastes amazing on so many things. I know you're going to love it. Trust me. No, better yet, don't trust me. You're going to have to try to make this recipe yourself. And of course, if you've enjoyed today's recipe, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Share my video with your friends. I really appreciate when you do that. And of course, I love your likes and I love your beautiful comments. So thank you so much for that. And if you're not already following Sally, that girl in the kitchen, which I don't know why that could possibly be happening, be sure to follow me and to touch that little notification bell, because if you subscribe to my channel and touch the bell, you're going to get notified every time I put up a recipe for you, which I do constantly. And there's so many recipes under my video tab. You're going to want to explore them all and try them all out. And of course, if you're not already following me on social media, be sure to follow Sally That Girl in the Kitchen on Facebook, Instagram, and on Pinterest. And you can also follow me as Sally That Girl FL on Twitter, Snapchat, and on TikTok. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Sally That Girl in the Kitchen.